If you're in the mood for a battle on the dirt, we can deliver that and more with this episode of Lucas Oil on the Edge. This entire episode is dedicated to some of the best midget racing you'll ever see with a Power Eye battle at the center. I guarantee you don't want to miss out.
Go! Got it tacked up, and if you get too close, you're getting cracked up. Stone cold when I roll, coming out of the hole. Get back, cause I'm out of control. I'm on the edge.
Welcome to Lucas Oil on the Edge. We bring you to the first annual Battle at the Center. It is the Lucas Oil Power Eye Battle at the Center here in Southern Illinois Center. DuQuoin, Illinois is where the battle will take place, and the absolute best midget racers in the world will go at it. Ken Stout and Brian Olson ready to call all the action for you. Sean Buckley will be down in the dirt to get us up close and personal. These guys will go side by side. It is amazing to watch them go at it.
Again, we usually see these cars outdoors. There's a couple times each year you'll see them indoors. 1/5 of a measured mile here, and here's some of the rules for the race. It's all open wheel, 900 pounds plus the driver's weight makes the number overall. Now the maximum tire width on the 3 tires, not including the right rear, is 12 inches, while the right rear you can have at 14 inches. Fuel, well, methanol or alcohol. There are no clutches. You got to push start these babies to make them run.
Well, race fans, when you walk up and down the pits here, it's like a who's who of midget racing. You got the National Midget Driver of the Year, Brian Clausen, the Power Eye Midget Champion, Brad Loyette, even NASCAR Nationwide Series Rookie of the Year, Ricky Stenhouse, is here to squirt some dirt. There's 55 midgets here gunning for $5,000 to win. The racers are all suited up to do battle here at the center.
John's all over it, very good at what he does. Heat race highlights here, and again, these guys going out here. Every heat race is a battle, of course, to try and make it to the main event. Not unlike what you would typically see at the Chili Bowl. And because the competition level is so high, anything can happen in a moment's notice, much like we saw there. This is open wheel racing, so if they go tire to tire, typically somebody is going for a big ride. Good look there, Jerry Coons Jr. Of course, Jerry Coons, one of the phenomenal names inside of open wheel racing when it comes to Silver Crown sprint cars and midgets.
Absolutely, and not only that, I mean, we mentioned earlier, you know, there's the Shane Cottle, the Levi Roberts, you mentioned Jerry Coons Jr., the list just goes on and on and on, from Wilson to Belfer to Snyder. I mean, they're all over the place here. Keep in mind, only a certain amount of them will make that feature event for $5 grand to win here tonight.
So let's talk about these cars in comparison to their big brothers, the sprint cars. Well, the midgets, as you see here, utilize that 14-inch right rear tire that you spoke of before. And a sprint car will be an 18-inch right rear tire. That is massive, about 105 inches around. And then, of course, the biggest difference, aside from the weight, about 1,000 pounds for the midget, 1,200 pounds for the sprint car, has to be the power plant. The midgets make an amazing 375 horsepower or so, but the sprint cars with the V8s are upwards of 800 to 850 horsepower. They are massive, without a doubt. The midgets are light, nimble, short wheelbase. They are a handful, to say the least, and they put on a heck of a show here at the 5th mile, as you will see here very shortly. Exciting stuff all coming your way.
Ken does it again with some great insight into the differences and similarities between midgets and sprint cars. The competition is about to heat up when the green flag drops on the A-main. Don't go anywhere.
This Lucas Oil on the Edge telecast is being brought to you by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. General Tire, anywhere is possible. Herculiner truck bed liners, when the tough comes easy.
Well, race fans, tonight's pole sitter, Casey Schumann out of Rattlesnake Bend, Arizona, was the last winner here with the Power Eye Series back in March 27. He fires off on the pole, and he is definitely one to watch right now.
All right, time to show you our A-main lineup as they go on the parade lap for the fans. Of course, they'll spread out there 4 wide. You should keep in mind, too, that the top 4 drivers drew for final positions. So Casey Schumann, as Sean just mentioned, ended up on the pole.
Ricky Stenhouse will join him on that front row. Darren Pittman in row number 2 on the inside. Tony Roney on the outside. Then multi-time champion Dave Darlin and young A.J. Fife, one of the best in the business there at row number 3.
As we go back to row 4, we'll find Caleb Armstrong, one of the two talented brothers, Danny Stratton. Row 5, Brad Kuhn, very talented, along with Derek King. Row 6, Jerry Coons Jr., one of the biggest names in the business, alongside J.D. Black.
Brad Loyette and Joey Mohan here in row number 7. It's Kyle Neal, David Boudris, Brett Anderson, Andrew Felker to row number 9.
And then we'll end up the field with Tyler Courtney, very talented Steve Buckwalter, and Taylor Ferns. As you take a look at your pole sitter, Casey Schumann hits the throttle, green flag, left front tire up in the air. We are racing on the 5th mile at DuQuoin.
And Casey Schumann, who has been brought up inside this sport, does a great job there, and that's one of the things you got to do at the start. Make your way to the front of the pack, because this is one of those races on a 1/5 of a mile that after what, probably 8 to 10 laps, you'll be hitting back markers, babe.
And of course, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right behind him. Oh, and we have a huge pile up here. Looks like it's involved the better part of 4 cars. Let's see if we can figure out what went wrong. You see one of the cars slowing up in there, and of course that's just gonna cause a dominoes effect. He collects a number of different cars, trying to see who it is. Very difficult from here.
Very difficult when you're on that 1/5 of a mile. We've not got that much width here to play with, so if one car goes around, it doesn't take much at all for others to collect themselves.
And what looks like a small straightaway is not a straightaway at all for these guys. They are constantly counter-steering and into turn, as you can see right there. But Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right behind him, very talented, also picking his way up towards the Sprint Cup Series, but has driven a lot of different styles of cars and has succeeded everywhere he's been. Unfortunately here, as you can see with the number 3 car, the Wendy's back machine, and Triple Crown winner Jerry Coons Jr. is involved in an incident with another very talented driver, the 05 of Brad Loyette. Loyette right there just pushing him through the exit of that turn. It looks ugly there, but keep in mind, he's trying to keep that thing lit. There's no clutch to pull in to keep that thing running, so they try to keep running if at all possible to retain their position. Back behind him as well was J.D. Black in the 23.
And right behind him, as he took that car and went over that tire, he knew right then and there he was done. There was no way I think he was going to keep firing.
One of the Loyette machines, driven by Casey Schumann, is still leading this event.
Very, very tight inside this dome here in DuQuoin, Illinois. And DuQuoin known for the mile race that the Silver Crown cars run on. But now we're indoors, baby, in another car.
Caution flag comes out again. It doesn't take long for things to go wrong. Let's see if we can look deep and find out what happened here. And again, at the exit between 3 and 4, a couple of cars get together. That will bring out the caution flag, and we'll group everybody back up. Schumann again to the restart, out around the cone, everything looking good. The Bob Hurley sponsored Midget has Darren Pittman inside of it. That's the number 21P.
And Pittman, a world-renowned, world outlaw wing sprint car driver, jumping in the midgets here. Now you talk about variables. We talked earlier about the difference between a midget and a sprint car. Well, how about a midget without a wing and a sprint car with a wing? It's a difference right there.
Saw a good look there at the 17B of Brad Kuhn as well. These guys are going at it great.
Are you a fan of Lucas Oil on the Edge? Want more behind-the-scenes information and footage? Become a fan of OTE on Facebook, and you can get your fill of all the on-the-edge craziness and excitement. Simply log on to facebook.com and type in Lucas Oil on the Edge. We're back with Power Eye Battle at the Center right here on Lucas Oil on the Edge. With only a few laps in the books, there's still a lot of racing left to go. One of the crowd favorites is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. At just 22 years old, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has been racing for 16 years and is one of Roush Fenway's racing up-and-coming drivers. Sean caught up with Ricky down in the pit area before the A-main.
Well, race fans, it's back to the dirt for Olive Branch, Mississippi's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky, the newly crowned NASCAR Nationwide Series Rookie there. Congratulations and welcome back to the dirt.
Thank you, I appreciate it. It was a hard year, it was a tough year, but everybody at Roush Fenway stuck behind us, and glad to come out here and be able to play in the wintertime.
Back to the dirt. How does it feel, man, to get out there and throw some tear-offs?
I think it's going to be good. I just figured out how to put them back on, the tear-offs. normally I got them on the windshield. So it's good to get back and run midgets here. Don Fike from Illinois. So if we could win this race for him, that would be really cool. We got my old crew chief that was with me at Tony Stewart's when I ran midgets over there, Bobby Barr. So it's it's an old package that we worked really well with in 2007, and hopefully we can do the same here.
How long has it been for you since you've been back in the midget?
2009 Chili Bowl, so it's been a while, but we're looking forward to here and getting ready for Chili Bowl later on the season.
How exciting is it to come here the middle of December, indoors, racing on the dirt?
It's I mean, I don't know why you would do anything else. It's this is what we grew up doing. It's what we love to do, and just glad to be back here with everybody that I grew up racing with, especially the 2007 year. It's kind of the turning point for my career, and to be able to come back and run with these guys and hang out with them is pretty fun.
Well, race fans, the good ones never forget where they came from. That's Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and he's ready to put the 3F in the circle here tonight.
And always a threat to win anytime he shows up. He is a natural, to say the least. This entire field still very close, but Stenhouse Jr. has not found a way around Schumann as of yet.
A couple of cars have made some moves, though. Dave Garland has made a little bit of a move. I believe Dave Garland is up to 4th, and there are other moves all over the racetrack, but at the end of the day, it's all about those two cars in front, 5 and 3. That is Schumann and Stenhouse.
As long as those guys hug the bottom down there, they're going to be relatively safe. There's only one way, really, to move them out of the way. That's pretty much it. And you'll see them if they do have a car good enough to run up there and just touch the back bumper, loosen them up a little bit, and hopefully stick a nose under at the next turn. It is slick down there. You can see this thing really slicking off, so they'll try to get that left side tire if they can right down there on the bottom.
Yeah, if you remember, we started this race, that whole track looked brown where they'd take the thing and run it in, but now a lot of rubber's making its way on the top side of this great dirt that they brought into the stadium, and as a result, this thing is getting a little bit dry and slick.
Yeah, Pittman was really leaning on Stenhouse Jr. right there. Had the nose all the way up by the left rear, and that's when the action typically starts. Great battle here for 8th between Roney and Stratton.
There's battles all over the track, but again, unless you use that bumper and go up high on the berm there, you're not going to make it happen, because pretty much by this point, kind of a one-lane racetrack, you got to hit it just exactly right. And the guy you're trying to get around, well, you're going to have to make a small mistake in order for you to pick a spot here.
And Derek King taking a good look at Danny Stratton as well, as he had pulled right up alongside. I'll tell you, the pressure is intense, and right there, the 91 slides up just a little bit. That is Derek King. And now the 11 car of Felker's trying to get around him, trying to just stick that nose underneath him.
You're going to do it any way you can possibly get the job done, because this is the time as we get ourselves beyond the halfway point here in the event. You got to start making some moves. There'll be no pit stops for these machines here tonight.
And Schumann just off the rear bumper. What a great show the mighty midgets are putting on.
It's time to open the Lucas Oil On the Edge vault and take a look at some vintage OTE footage.
Into the back straight here. When you talk about lean over the choke, you stop the air going into the engine to fill it with fuel. Oh, yeah, sideways!
Just forcing his way through. Oh, and they have a huge wreck going on here. Gustavo Yagerman, from our point of view here, it looked like he might have caused the entire thing, and he does. He gets up over the curb, and it sends the cart airborne.
This is turn 2. Yagerman comes down the inside of Brave Move, loses it. Watch this left side of your screen. Boom! He wraps up Chris Keller. Man, onboard camera, you saw it. Oh, they fight! They fight!
Holy smokes, and Chris Keller just wound up right there. He wanted to get a little even with him right there.
OTE will keep you on the edge of your seat with exciting racing, and you don't want to miss what we have in store for you later on in the show. Come on back. Welcome back to Lucas Oil On the Edge. This series is committed to bringing you original racing that's never been seen before. We've got more intense midget racing coming right now, only on Lucas Oil On the Edge.
Welcome back to DuQuoin. For the Power Eye event, Casey Schumann hanging on the first place right there as he drives underneath Jerry Coons Jr., who is a lapped vehicle. In second place is the number 3 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
And behind Stenhouse is the machine of Darren Pittman. That's pretty much how they've been. Here we go with another caution flag.
Yeah, no shortage of those, unfortunately, here tonight. And yeah, that's how slick it's getting up there.
Yeah, it's pretty much the norm on the small course indoor racing, man. And again, you start making your way past that halfway point, everybody trying their best to make some moves here.
And Tyler Courtney, part of that duo as we get them started one more time. Coons again a lapper, the Wendy's back machine a lapper. He moves up and out of the way. Can't remember the last time I saw Jerry Coons Jr. get lapped at anything, but unfortunately a tough night here. Casey Schumann, though, stretches out a nice lead.
Yeah, you're right, Ken, about Coons. He knows he's out of the race. He'd like to stay as close as he can to the front. However, when you've got the leaders coming around you, the best thing you do is just get out of the way.
The reason they're showing a little deeper in the pack there is because Dave Darland is coming. Dave Darland in that blue number 86 car, of course, always a fan favorite. The fans absolutely love him as the yellow flag comes out here, but he's picking his way up here to the front.
Yeah, Dave Darland got his start when he was real young. Comes from a little bitty town over by Kokomo, Indiana. Been doing it a long time.
Well, race fans, just past the halfway point, and you can see the racetrack, a dry slicky. Well, Casey Schumann's doing a heck of a job holding off Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse, praying to God it don't take rubber, because if it does, it's going to be single file. The one thing Stenhouse can hope for is traffic, and with all these cautions, that ain't going to happen anytime soon.
And another good look at them there, as you can see the top 4 or 5 all lined up very, very close. The other three, the three AJs, AJ Fike back there looks very similar to Stenhouse Jr.'s car. That is Stenhouse in second, Fike back there in 5th.
Casey Schumann has led this thing so far from wire to wire. The big question, can he do it for all 50 laps?
What a great shot there. Again, keep in mind the Wendy's car of Jerry Coons Jr. getting a lot of love here, but it's not the kind he wants.
That Wendy's car actually is supposed to move over when the leaders come by. However, he and the other machine brony that were involved in that accident earlier can still actually fight for position here, Ken. But his car seems to be losing it just a little bit, maybe a little bit off on the right rear tire.
Another look there at Danny Stratton. That's a battle for 8th down there on the lower right of your screen. And of course, top left is your leader, the 05S of Casey Schumann. Still has some breathing room there over second place of Stenhouse Jr.
A couple of cars you want to watch for. Of course, Darland in that 86 machine, AJ Fike on the move, as well as Brad Kuhn and Danny Stratton trying to make a move toward the front as well.
50-lap main event, $5,000 to the winner, and so far, since the drop of the first green flag, it has been that man who has set the pace.
He set the pace, and he doesn't want to see any caution flags come out, and that's exactly what he sees again here. He'd like to string them together about 20 in a row, and he'd get this thing in the books.
And your Herculiner instant replay will show Caleb Armstrong, who gets up high there at the entry of the turn and the slick stuff, and unfortunately just loops it all the way around. You can see he was trying to get around the outside of the 17B. That was Brad Kuhn. Got up there in that slick stuff, man, and it was all over.
Yeah, there is no real cushion built up there, as per se. Looks like there is on the, what you consider to be the straightaways, as Darland now up the 4th spot.
Schumann counting on another strong restart, and that's exactly what he gets. Very difficult to pass out here. You really have to hope somebody has a mistake in front of you.
Like I say, it's kind of the nature of the beast, if you will, in the open wheel indoor racing, be it on pavement or on dirt. You get that lead early on, you usually control it.
Well, the fat man is in the house, and Casey Schumann's hoping that guy has a present for him.
This Lucas Oil On the Edge telecast is being brought to you by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. General Tire, anywhere is possible. Erickson tie downs and tow straps. Tie it, tow it, move it.
We're getting down to the wire, and there isn't much time to make a move in this final race. Casey Schumann continues to hold down the top spot, but he's got some heavy hitters like Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Darren Pittman, and Dave Darland right on his heels. Anything can happen.
Making some dust here, and Casey Schumann is the first guy to do it. Ricky Stenhouse right behind him has been chasing him all night long, but can't pressure him into a mistake. Back behind Stenhouse is still Pittman, who's holding on. And then back behind Pittman is a very tough Dave Darling.
And that's a guy you really got to keep your eye out for. Really, really good in any kind of car, but is extremely good indoors, Darling that is. Oh, there's the reason right there. The number 11 machine. I believe that is going to be Brett Anderson right there.
And also saw Caleb Armstrong out there again as well, so tough going here for a couple of the guys. We'll get them restarted one more time. Yeah, and you mentioned Dave Darling. I mean, really, all these guys up here at the top pretty much race with each other all year long. And they all race in midgets. They run in the sprint cars as the white flag flies, and the bigger yet, silver crown cars. Of course, back in the day, this is what you ran in if you wanted to make a run at IndyCar. Well, Stenhouse Jr. just made a run at Schumann. Unfortunately, it would not cause him to make a mistake. Casey Schumann wins this one, flag to flag. There's a look at your A-main results. Congratulations to Casey.
Casey Schumann, a big win here, man. Led every single lap. Got the car owner, Joy Layette, in there. Got Jack Hockett, Jesse Hockett's father, in here, giving Casey a big hug. Very emotional victory lane here. I tell you what, Casey Schumann started on the pole at every single lap, and you won here on speed. Congratulations, man.
Man, this is pretty cool. It was a tough night. These guys worked their ass off. I mean, every time the car came in, there was something else wrong with it, and you know, I mean, they just worked their butts off. We just barely made it into the qualifier, and it was pretty cool. Come here twice and win twice, and win on speed. And I got to thank Joe Lett and the whole team. They, like I said, they busted their ass to get us here tonight.
Yeah, this track, you know, they cut it right before the main event, and it kind of slicked off, got real slick and hard, and, you know, it's a hard way to make a living down there running 50 laps on the bottom, but you did a really smooth race, and Stenhouse was a gentleman there.
Yeah, he definitely was. I mean, you know, the middle part of the race, we ran early in the year, and it laid rubber towards the end, and I hurt a tire. So the middle part of the race, I really was just trying to take care of the tire and make sure I had something for the end, and I could hear him back there towards the end, and I figured it's time to go, and I don't know how many laps we ran, if it was 50 or not, but it seemed pretty short. But I don't care, I'll take it.
Thanks for watching this episode of Lucas Oil On The Edge. Congrats again to Casey Schumann. We have more great On The Edge racing coming soon. For Ken Stout, Brian Olson, and Sean Buckley, I'm Sarah Daly. We'll see you next time with more competitive, adrenaline-fueled motorsports. And just remember, you're not living unless you're on the edge.